4:31 on the morning of Thursday, 23rd of September, 2021, North American Eastern Time. I'm recording this message because even though Canadian Green Party leader Annamie Paul lost by a country mile her second attempt since having been elected leader of that party to become a member of that country's House of Commons, she has refused to resign. It's time for her to do so. She can avoid the embarrassment through which Tom Mulcair in 2016 underwent because of his own refusal to resign as his own party's leader. So I'm going to go through and recap a little bit what happened in 2016 under Tom Mulcair. Tom Mulcair was elected federal NDP leader in 2012. In 2015, he put in a centrist middle-of-the-road campaign instead of to the left. The NDP ended up losing a whole bunch of seats, and furthermore, handing a majority from the Conservative Party of Canada to the Liberal Party of Canada. So the NDP got nowhere close. It should have been blatantly obvious for Mr. Mulcair to step down. He didn't do so. He was forced out because he refused to acknowledge the obvious. His time to go as leader of the NDP had come. Annamie Paul had a simple task that she needed to accomplish for there to be any chance for me to endorse her continued indefinite leadership of the party. To win a seat in Parliament. She had lost her 2020 attempt to get in, but there had been hope. She had come closer than any Green candidate in Toronto Centre had. But then she admitted, earlier on this week, that she had lost her attempt to become Toronto Centre MP by a country mile. She said not one iota in her concession speech that she was prepared to resign. 2014, Ontario PC Party leader Tim Hudak, in his own concession speech, after his party had lost quite a few seats and saw the then governing Liberal Party go from minority to majority, admitted that his time to go had come. So what should Annamie Paul have done? What she would have done, what she should have done, is mention in her concession speech, in which she conceded her loss of her attempt to become Toronto Centre MP, that she was going to speak to the caucus and party executive to sort out the process to select her interim replacement, and that she was going to stay on as leader only until that interim replacement was to be selected. She could have taken it right out of the Tim Hudak playbook on how to concede an election. She didn't do so. If she'd done so, she could have avoided the embarrassment that she's now facing. I don't often post videos to YouTube, but there's a compelling reason to do so this time. She has refused to acknowledge the obvious. She needs to resign. I understand that many people who are Black, Indigenous, or otherwise of color, known as BIPOC people, are discriminated against, and that discrimination needs to end. That said, she's had chance after chance after chance to admit that she was wrong, to not condemn the remarks of Noah Zatzman, an ex-advisor, by mentioning that criticism of the Israeli government was not anti-Semitic. She has done nothing up to that point. And now we look at how badly that, her incompetence cost the party Jenica Atwin in New Brunswick. June of this year, Bye Greens went to the Liberals. And earlier this week, Well, potentially, Paul Manley out in Vancouver Island admitted on Twitter he will claim that he was not likely to win his bid, his 2021 bid to remain an MP for Nanaimo Ladysmith in the south of Vancouver Island. Elizabeth May, the one-time overall leader of the Green Party of Canada, did win her own seat. Mike Morris, in Kitchener Centre, I believe, won the first seat for the federal Greens in all of Ontario, and the second Green representative to be elected to an Ontario riding at the provincial or federal level. So, a little bit of shifting, but unprepared. It's very clear. The Green Party of Canada needs a lot of change. And that starts with the resignation of Ms. Paul. So I invite those individuals who are hopping mad about her refusal to resign to join me to call on her resignation, and if she does not resign before a review of her until a vote on her leadership is called, to join me to vote her out. Now's the time for her to resign. And if she doesn't, she may as well be embarrassed the same way that Tom Mulcair was in 2016 by just not resigning when it was clear that she had a mission to accomplish and she didn't do it. So yes. And of course, I want the Green Party of Canada to continue to fight to stand up for BIPOC people, because it's the only way to go. And also to remove the perception that it is only for the environment. The longer Annamie Paul stays on, the longer the party will be dragged down. Enough's enough. It's that simple. So Annamie Paul, the message is simple. Resign. And do it sooner rather than later. Not just for the party's interest, but it'll be in your own interest. Thanks.